What's your assessment regarding entrances to tunnels and also storage houses for weapons and their placement within civilian infrastructure?
Yeah, I mean, I've been into houses in Gaza and I've seen underneath a child's bed, I've seen rifles. In the kitchen cupboard, I've seen boxes of grenades. I've seen boxes of explosives in people's houses where they're living. Not only that, but what that does is to allow Hamas terrorists to do something that no terrorists I've ever fought against have been able to do, which is to move around above ground, not only in civilian clothes, which is common terrorist tactic, but without a weapon. How do you identify a terrorist? The main way to identify a terrorist is the rifle he's carrying. A terrorist can't do much without a rifle or a pistol or a grenade or something. So that's the kind of indicator that someone among a civilian population is a terrorist. But they don't do that because they know they can go to this house, to that house, to the other house.
And how well is that mapped out, like for Hamas? Mapped out, like for Hamas. They know where everything is located.
Yeah, they will know in an area. They'll know where things are, and they can be pretty confident. They can go into not any house, but almost any house, and they'll find munitions because in some parts, every house, every other house, every third house has munitions in them. The whole place, the whole of almost all of the Gaza Strip, whether it be civilian houses, whether it be mosques, whether it be hospitals, schools, these are all part of of Hamas's fortifications. And not only that, but if you go into a house, if you're an IDF soldier, you go into a house. I mentioned the hidden explosives and cameras in the tunnels. The same thing is in the houses as well. I was talking to a young IDF commander the other day who was telling me he got blown up. He got a lot of his stomach blown out by one of these remote cameras that was concealed. This makes it, I think, when the dust settles, shall we say, on Gaza, I think we're going to witness probably even more visions of destruction than we've seen so far, of destruction by the IDF against these buildings. And that is primarily because of the fortification of these buildings and the use of them as armories, tunnel entrances coming up into the houses, all of that.
Well, if you're saying that it's almost all the houses, or at least more than
a significant number, yeah.
Like more than 50%?
Probably.
So what does that do to the claim of the innocent Palestinian civilian, right? People talk about Hamas and then they say, innocent Palestinian civilians. I mean, if there's weapons and tunnel entrances in the majority of civilian buildings in Gaza, that means that the whole population is complicit.
I'm sure the whole population or most of the population of Gaza is complicit in some way, whether it's just turning a blind eye, physically helping, assisting, and all that sort of thing, or even if it's looking out for IDF soldiers approaching and warning off the terrorists. But that what that doesn't mean is that the IDF can consider all Gazan civilians as combatants. They can't, and they don't. When a civilian actively assists and is known to be actively assisting terrorist action, military action, then they become combatants and they can be attacked and should be attacked. But you can't. It's actually difficult to identify that, and so you have to regard them until you can see otherwise as civilians who can't be attacked.
Israel